Hello friends, you are welcome to our literary channel Academic Domain. Today I am going to talk about the poem Freedom by Jayanta Mahapatra. It will be line by line explanation of the poem in English language. And friends, if you want to listen the explanation of the same poem in Hindi language, please click the link given below. And friends, if you want to know about the poet Jayanta Mahapatra, I have made a separate video about him. So please type Jayanta Mahapatra Academic Domain on YouTube, you will get it. And friends, if you want to get the question answer based on the poetry of Jayanta Mahapatra, please visit theacademicdomain.com. And friends, if you are new to my channel and haven't subscribed it, please subscribe it and press the bell icon to get notified my new videos. So while talking about this poem, as the title of the poem is Freedom, but it is a contrast when you talk about the theme of the poem. So in this poem, the poet says that it has been 50 years of our freedom. When poet composed this poem, that time it was 50 years of the freedom, and he says that it has been the 50 years of the freedom. Still the condition of our country is pathetic. Still the people are dying of hunger. So he compares the poor people, he compares the people, the daily wages with the politicians, with the government. That on the one hand, the people are poor, they are not able to get their proper food for them. On the other hand, politicians and government have luxurious life. So in the first stanza, poet says that at times as I watch. So he says that when sometimes when I watch, it seems as though my country's body. So it seems that the body of my country floats. It's floating down somewhere on the river. So the poet says that sometimes when I watch, I feel that the body of my country is floating somewhere on the river. So here the poet is referring the Hinduism, that we know in Hinduism after death, that dead body is cremated and the ashes are thrown in the river. So here the poet compares his country, the poet compares our country India with the ashes of the dead body, or with the dead body, that our country is like a dead body. It means that the condition of our country is so pathetic that it's like a dead, it's not like a living country. So second stanza, let's see second stanza. Left alone. When I see that, when the poet says that when I see that I feel that I am left alone. He is stunned, he is surprised. I grow into a half embodied bamboo. So he says that I feel that I became, lifeless. Disembodied means that the body is separated from the soul. When our body is separated from our soul, it means that we are dead. So the poet feels like half disembodied, means that half dead. So when he considers about our country, when he sees the body of our country is floating in the river, so he is surprised and he is stunned. He feels that he is like a dead man. He feels that he is like a lifeless bamboo, and the lower part of that bamboo is its lower part sunk into itself on the bank. So the lower part of that bamboo is sunk in the river. So here the poet says that he compares himself with the bamboo, and he says that when he considers the pathetic condition of our country, he feels lifeless, and his lower part, he feels that he became a bamboo, he became lifeless like a bamboo, and his lower part is sunk in the river. So here he is trying to say that the condition of our country is ruined. Our country is ruined by our own people. Our country is ruined by our own politicians, by our own godmen. So in the third stanza, here old widows and dying men cherish their freedom bowing time after time in obstinate prayers. Now he talks about the old widows, and he talks about the old men or the aged men, and the people who have been abandoned by their children, the people who are in the old age homes. So he says that here old widows and dying men. So the aged people, the old widows and the dying men, the aged people, they cherish their freedom. They want to get freedom from this life. They want to get freedom from their life, from this world, because their condition is so bad that they have none to take care of them. That's why they want to die, bowing time after time in obstinate prayers. So they pray God that they should die. They pray God that the obstinate prayer means that their prayers are not listened by the God. They want to die, but they are not dying. They are not dying. So that's why he says that obstinate prayers. It means that they have been abandoned by their children. No one is there to take care of them. And that's why they are so much frustrated from their life that they want to die. They want to get freedom from their body. They want to get freedom from this world. They want to get freedom from their life. And friends, if you I know that some of you are not able to attend the classes. If you want online coaching, you can message me in the comment box, because I have done my MA, MPhil and PhD in English literature, so I think I can do better. So now talking about the fourth stanza, while children scream. Now earlier he talked about the aged people, earlier he talked about the aged women, old women. Now he talks about the children, that while children scream. So there is enthusiasm in the children. They have great desire. What is that desire? With this desire for freedom, to transform the world. So they have great desire to transform the world. They have great, the young people, the young generation, the children have great desire to change the world, to change our country, but without even laying hands on it. Without even laying hands on it, but on it means they don't have resources to change it. They want to change our country, they want to make it better, but they don't have resources here. So the poet is trying to say that we don't have enough resources. We have very bad economic and social condition. Even the people who want to change it, the young generation is very enthusiastic and it want to change it, but alas, they don't have enough resources to change the condition of our country. Now talking about fifth stanza, in my blindness at times I fear I would wander back to either of them. In my blindness. Now the poet says that sometimes I think, sometimes I imagine that at times, sometimes I fear I would wander back to either of them. Either of them means either to the old people, either to the aged people, or to the children. So sometimes poet feels that he wants to help either the children or the aged people. He wants to help them. But in order for me not to lose face means feeling embarrassed. In order for me, so the poet is trying to say that when he will celebrate his freedom, that time he doesn't want to feel embarrassed. That's why he wants to help them. He wants to help the old people and the children, but it is necessary for me to be alone. But the poet says that for me it is necessary to be alone. I don't have time to go to them. I don't have time to help them, because my economic condition is so bad that I am busy to earn my livelihood. I am busy to earn the livelihood for my family. So I don't have enough time so that I can help the old people. I can help the children who want to change the country, who want to make the country better. So here poet is trying to say that everyone is busy in their livelihood. So the economic condition of our country is so pathetic that the people who want to help other, but they are not able to do that because they are busy in earning their own livelihood. Now let's talk about sixth stanza. Not to meet the woman and her child in that remote village in the hills. Now, poet says that even I don't have time to meet woman and her child who is living in the remote village, in an isolated village which is among the hills, who never had even a little rice. So those people, that woman and her child, they don't have rice to eat, for their one daily meal these 50 years. So it has been 50 years of freedom, but even today they don't have a proper meal, one proper meal a day. So he talks about the pathetic condition of our country, that it has been 50 years of freedom of our country, but there are so many people, there are millions of people, they don't have at least one time of food in a day. Now let's talk about the seventh stanza. And not to see the uncaught bloodied light of sunsets killing to the tall white columns of parliament. Now here poet says that the people of our country are busy in their own world. It means that they are busy in their livelihood. They are suffering with the poverty. So they are uncaught. So the bloodied sunsets light, it means that when the sun is setting in the sky in the west, so that time its light is like it's that light is red. So and when that light that falls on the white column of parliament house. So here poet is trying to say that our the people in our country, they are so much busy in earning their livelihood, and they have such a pathetic condition that they don't have time to think about the parliament. They don't have time to think about the politicians of our country. It means that the government, that our government is by the people, for the people, of the people, but people are away from the facilities, and the economy, the wealth of our country is in a chosen hands. The politicians, they are living a luxurious life, the government are living a luxurious life, but the common people are suffering, though the country is for them, of them, and by them, but still they don't have proper facilities. So here the poet is trying to say that our people are ignorant from the government. They are ignorant from the parliament house. They don't know what's going on. They are busy in their own world because they have to earn their livelihood. In the eighth stanza, in the new temple man has built nearby. Now he talks about the religious places, that nearby one temple is built by the human being, by the man, and in that temple priest is the one who knows freedom. So in that temple the priest, the god man, has all kind of freedom, while God hides in the dark like an alien, while the God is a puppet in the hands of the priest, and God is hiding in the dark of the temple like an alien. So here the poet is trying to say that the priest or the godmen, they made religious places a business hub. So they are the one who are deciding that who will pray and who will not pray. They are the one who are taking money from the people, and God is not able to do anything. So God became like a puppet in the hands of the priest, and the priests have all kinds of freedom. They do whatever they want. Now let's talk about the ninth stanza. And each day I keep looking for the light. Shadows find excuses to keep. Now the poet says that each day there is, I think that there is a hope in the darkness. So light means hope, and shadows means darkness here. So poet says that each day, every day, I feel that there is a hope in the darkness. There may be a good day for our country, but he says that find excuses to keep. So just it's kind of consolement. So he's consoling himself by imagining that there may be good day in our country. So just he is imagining, he knows that the politicians or the godmen, they they will not do better for our country, just they are thinking about themselves. He knows that, but he is consoling himself, find excuses to keep. So just he consoles himself, the poet consoles himself, trying to find the only freedom I know. Now the poet says that there is a only freedom which I think that I can get it. What is that freedom? The freedom of the body when it's alone. So the freedom of the body when it is separated from the soul, when it is alone, when it is not with the soul. So the poet is trying to say that when we are in this world, so we cannot get freedom. We can get freedom only after death. So when we are alive, we have so many issues, we have so many problems. So until we are alive, we cannot get freedom. So we can get freedom only after death. It means that a living body, a human body, cannot get freedom. Now the last stanza, the 10th stanza: the freedom of the silent shell, the moonless coal, the beds of streams of the sleeping god. Now he says that lifeless things may have freedom, but not the living being. So he says that the freedom of the silent shell. Shell means rock or the stone. So the silent shell, the rock is free because it is lifeless. And moonless coal, the coal which is away from the moonlight, it means the coal which is deep down in the earth. So it is also a lifeless thing. So that shell or the rocks are free and the coal is free, and then the bed of sleeping god which is on the stream, which is on the floating water, that bed is free. So the poet is trying to say that lifeless things are free, but living being, human being, cannot be free unless in his life. Then he says again that I keep the ashes away. Now he is not he is afraid to touch the ashes which are that when the dead body is cremated and the ashes are thrown in the river. So those ashes are that floating on the river. So he is scared of touching those ashes as well. Why? Try not to wear them on my forehead. So he is not, he is afraid to wear them on his forehead. He is afraid to rub those ashes on his forehead. Why? He is afraid that lest those ashes may lose their freedom. So he is so afraid that though those ashes are lifeless, they are not the living thing, but when they will be touched by the human being, when they will be touched by the poet, they may lose their freedom as well.